Hello everybody, Michael the Librarian of Magic here, finding and cataloging the magical and pointing you to it. Today is October the 29th. Only a couple of days left here until Halloween. 3 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. If anybody knows that reference, make a comment down below if you know the movie that I'm talking about. It's not a Disney movie, I'll warn you ahead of time. Silver Shamrock. Okay, enough of that. We got another villain drawing to help us get towards finishing out the rest of the month, and today is one that maybe not a lot of people think about very often, and that's this character right here, Thunderclap, from the Pixar film The Good Dinosaur, which I feel like sort of came and went, didn't get as well remembered or as well beloved as some of the other Pixar films, and I liked it. I didn't think that it is, by far the best work that Pixar has ever done, but I think there's a lot to recommend it. I think it's a pretty enjoyable movie. It's a fun, sweet story. There's certainly not a lot wrong with it, but Pixar just has a very high bar to clear, and, it's hard to match that all the time. But The Good Dinosaur, I think, is pretty decent. This character, Thunderclap, here is a scavenger and a hunter, kind of a fairly nasty piece of work. Some of these scavenging dinosaurs in the film are. It's supposed to be a Nyctosaurus, which, from what I've read here in real life, Nyctosaurus did not have teeth like is featured in the drawing, or wing claws, or even feet that were strong enough to be able to grasp things. So if it was indeed a hunter, it didn't hunt in the ways that are probably, portrayed in the film. Thunderclap here is also the leader of a gang of other pterosaurs. They're all different species. I didn't write down what all the different species are, but if you are a dino head, you can look that sort of stuff up and find them. But they are all reminiscent of distinct species of pterosaurs. And basically in the film, it's a very sort of short sequence that Thunderclap is involved in. In fact, he has the shortest amount of screen time of any Pixar villain to date. But it's kind of a cool scene. It's sort of an action-y scene. He's trying to hunt down Arlo and Spot and sort of take them down and eat them. And Arlo is finally able to get up a loud enough roar. That's something that he's been trying to work on, his courage and his bravery. That's a lot of what the story's about. And he roars loud enough to be able to briefly distract Thunderclap. And when he does, Spot is able to bite a hole in Thunderclap's wing. And then Arlo throws a stick at him, and he falls into a river and is carried downstream and off screen and out of the movie. We don't really see what happens to him. The director of the film, Peter Sohn, took to Twitter at one point and said that, in his opinion, or in his official version, Thunderclap is still alive. He survived that encounter, and he's still out there maybe hunting stuff, but he might think twice about picking on some of these younger dinosaurs and stuff. So that's kind of what happened with that. Peter Sohn is as I had mentioned, is the director of The Good Dinosaur, and there's some interesting stuff about him and his work for Pixar. He did actually voice a role in The Good Dinosaur. He voiced a character called Forrest Woodbush, who is like this dinosaur that has all these other creatures that live on him. He started out with Pixar in the art and story department working on Finding Nemo, and then also eventually went on to work on The Incredibles, Ratatouille, and WALL-E before eventually directing The Good Dinosaur. He also ended up doing some voice work in the midst of all of that. As I said, he voiced the one role in this that he directed, but he also voiced Emile in Ratatouille, which is a fairly prominent role, the brother of Remy in Ratatouille. And then also very notably, the character of Russell from Up is actually based on Peter Sohn, based on the look of Peter Sohn. And you can see in the images that I've dug up here about the resemblance. So he has had a cool career at Pixar thus far, and it'd be cool to just keep watching and seeing what he's involved in, whether he shows up in voice work or on the art and story side of things or directing movies or whatever. He's a very talented guy. Thunderclap was voiced by Steve Zahn, who is a fun actor. He's done a wide gamut of things. He's a very funny guy. He's been in a lot of comedies, and I kind of am in line with his vein of humor, so I find him to be very amusing and fun to watch when I see that he's in stuff. But he's been in a lot of dramatic roles as well. He's a very good dramatic actor also. For Disney, he, in addition to voicing Thunderclap in The Good Dinosaur, he voiced the character of Runt of the Litter in Chicken Little, and he also voiced a character called Sherman of the band Love Handle in Phineas and Ferb. You may remember that. But some of the other movies that he's really notable in, my favorite role that he's done is the role of Lenny, the guitar player in That Thing You Do, which is just a favorite movie of mine, and he's one of the reasons why. He's just got a very funny comedy relief role in that movie. And he's turned up in a lot of other cool stuff. He was a really fun sidekick type character in the movie Sahara, which is a halfway decent movie. And he's just always showing up and stuff. So he's a fun actor. You may be familiar with the work of Steve Zahn, and he did the voice of Thunderclap here. So I hope that you enjoyed my drawing of Thunderclap and remembering The Good Dinosaur a little bit. I had fun picking a character from that movie and remembering it and highlighting it because, it, like I said, it kind of came and went, and I don't know how many people remember it strongly. So maybe this will encourage you to go watch the movie again or remember it differently than you did. But yeah. That's Thunderclap from The Good Dinosaur. Hopefully you enjoyed the drawing I made and learning a little bit about Peter Sohn and Steve Zahn and so forth. Thanks as always for joining me on these. I will have another one tomorrow, and there's only going to be 2 more drawings left as we get to Halloween. So join me for those. Thanks as always. I hope you have an excellent day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.